Hey guys, welcome to this Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all kinds of lives today. And we are going to talk about tracking links. And we have Donna Fox, the one, the only. Well, are you the only Donna Fox? You might
Oh,
be.
I'm sure there are others, but
Probably some others out
they're
there.
all impersonators. Accept
Exactly.
no imitations.
The
They're
original.
real.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to get, right on into letting Donna share her wisdom with us. So here's what happened. Maybe a couple of months ago, David was with us in the Groove for Growth Academy, just giving us lots of goodies. And we said, Dr. Cecilia Greenbar, who's on, I can see she's watching, said, hey, David, tell us about tracking links. Like, what does Groove do with tracking links? What can we do with tracking links? How do we understand them and just kind of, help us up our game? And David said, if you want to talk about tracking links, you need to talk to Donna. She's the queen of tracking links. That's what he said. I believe, he may have said it in different words, but that's what he meant if that's not what he said. So, I said, hey, Donna, what's the chance? And Donna said, there's this kind of big launch going on. And maybe after. And I said, absolutely. Anytime works. So what we're doing today, if you haven't already understood that from all of the emails and posts, is focusing on tracking links specifically. And I see in the chat already, and I knew this would happen, there were questions about some other things like how's the AI app coming and things like that. Those are fine questions. I will say this, today we will absolutely focus on tracking links. And that's what we're focused on. So those other questions, you can save them for a Groove Q&A because, this is my Q&A and I can do what I want, right? So anyhow, thank you, Donna, for being available, making yourself available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically fade into the background and maybe I'll come back on and ask some questions. Maybe we'll have some Q&A depending on your time. So it's really about how much time you have. For those of you who are live, give us a hashtag live. For those of you who are watching by the replay, hashtag replay. And I do want to say this before we finish. The clips and the information from today are going to be available. You'll be able to find it in grooveanswersfast.com. At grooveanswersfast.com, you'll be able to put in a keyword and find these clips from today, the information from today. So if you haven't already, go out there to grooveanswersfast.com. You can put in some keywords and find some cool Groove answers, and it's fast. That's why it's called Groove Answers Fast. All right, Donna, that's it. I'm done talking, and I am going to make you the leader of the show and hand it over and say, let us know about tracking.
Beautiful. So as I was preparing for this session, I realized that it's very weird. I just got a pop-up for something. It took me away from my StreamYard stream and popped something up. That was very strange. All right, guys. So I'm going to talk about tracking today. And the reality is that I don't have all that much to say. It is a very, very simple process in Groove. I don't know what questions you might have. So I recognize that I've been doing this for a long time, and what may seem simple and easy and straightforward to me isn't necessarily simple and easy and straightforward to you. So I want to encourage you to ask questions about tracking links, how to track particular things. That would be great. But specifically what I came prepared to talk to you today about is how to use page tracking and tracking links that are available in Groove. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me go. Pretty sure it's this one. Yes. Okay, you should be able to see this tab and see tracking links. And you can see that we regularly use tracking links. So each one of these tracking links here is for our Groove Digital Presents events. And the interesting way that we use these are all affiliate promotions they're people that don't necessarily use Groove. We set up tracking links so that, in this case, so that our Groove Digital Presents promotions will always go to the active page. So let me show you how that works. We have coming up on May 17th, Damian Zamora, great friend. In fact, Kevin Strite is going to be featured on that webinar, and that's tomorrow coming up.
I am.
Yeah. And Kevin, we change the links based on what we need to happen. So we use one tracking link, and that allows us to, so we use this almost like a pretty link. If you're familiar with the software Pretty Link, that is a paid software that works on WordPress that allows you to create a tracking link that looks good, and also you can change where the link points to. We use it in the same way. We set up not for the looks good, because we don't care so much about that in this case, but we set it up so that we can change the link. So right now, this GDP link is set to go to, let me just save and next through it, the web class. So this is the registration page for our Groove Digital Academy. So the link goes there. Once that live event happens, we will change this to point to the replay.
Hey, Donna,
Yes.
can you zoom into your browser just a
Oh,
little bit?
sure. Yeah. Sorry about that,
Always a
guys.
thing. Yeah, there we go.
That should be
That's
good.
great. Thank you.
Yep, I should know to do that. I apologize. So after the event, we will change this link to the replay. So what happens is, very often people will not read their email for a little while. Raise your hand if you're guilty of that. And once a month, you go in and start cleaning out a box, and you'll see old emails. If our registration links, if we didn't use tracking for our registration links, that user may never go and see where that website was. So they'll click on it, and it'll be, in this case, it'll be for the different GDP, because this always goes to the one that says Groove Digital Academy /web class, always goes to the next one that's happening. So the next live event. So basically, Sundays through Wednesday on our week, because we always do those events on Wednesday, this link will point to the registration page. After the event on Wednesday, this link will point to the replay page. But if you don't watch the email, if you don't see the email in time, if you show up 2 weeks later and you open the email and you click on the link, if it were still this link, you would go to whatever that promotion was on that particular day, which means that email no longer coincides with the message that they see when they land on the page. It creates confusion. So in order to avoid that, we use tracking links that allow us to just swap out the page. So now, instead of going to a registration page that's for an event that's canceled, or a registration page like we use them for the next event, they go to the replay for the topic that they clicked on. So that's the primary way that we use tracking links. We use it to make it easy and to make old emails in people's account still be relevant and live. That's not the only way you can use tracking links. So I'm not going to show you the process of creating tracking links yet. I want to step back and take you through it step by step. So if you've never used tracking links in Groove, we're going to set it up. What I learned today is that when we made the tracking link system live, we never actually added it for Groove.cm. It's been over a year that the tracking system, the Pretty Link tracking system, has been live, and I realized today we hadn't added it. So if you click on, and this is in all of your accounts, if you click on this G logo right here, you can go to settings and billing. And then in settings, if you go to domains, you'll see your list of domains, domain management. This should look familiar to you if you've been with Groove for any length of time at this point. We want to manage our custom domain. Here is where you connect custom domains to the various apps inside Groove. I'm going to go down to our domain, Groove.cm, which is all the way at the bottom. So I'm just going to scroll down there and find Groove.cm. Well, not quite all the way at the bottom, almost all the way. So here's Groove.cm, and I want to turn on our tracking links for that. So I'm going to click on Groove Cell, which is where the tracking links reside. And you have a couple of choices here. We're going to click on the plus to add. Now, you can add for Groove Cell branding. Pardon me. This is your checkout. So you could change it to checkout. You could change it to any word that makes sense. I need to take a drink of one of my many drinks here.
I'll try to keep the air from being dead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hold on. I'm just going to pause and cough.
Yeah, that's fine. So the options there are going to be to create a link for the checkout, or we can create a link that is going to, I'm just going to try to let the sentence hang here for Donna to complete it.
Yeah, thank you. Or you can click this drop down and choose one for tracking. So that's what we're going to do today. You could do both. We're going to do a tracking one. In fact, I'll just do both while we're at it. So for tracking, the default tracking link says something like tracking.groovecell and then a string of numbers. How many people like to be tracked? No one. No one likes to be tracked. So if you drop in a tracking link that says tracking.yourdomain.com, you're not going to get as many clicks. No one likes to be tracked. You could basically say click. It's the call to action. Click here. Call to action. I highly recommend using something that is more of a call to action for your tracking link. So click here is a good one. So we're going to set that up. While we're at it, I'm going to set up the branding one, Groove Cell branding, and checkout is an absolutely fine name for a checkout page for Groove Cell branding. So I'm going to set that up too while we're here. So now we have available for our use, click here.groove.cm for Groove Cell tracking and checkout.groove.cm for branding. We're only going to talk about the tracking today. And that's all you need to do. Once you've set up your domain, you can easily set up that custom domain for Groove Cell. And if I go down here now to groove.cm, you will see that it doesn't actually say, I probably have to refresh because let's go here, settings, domains, custom domains, groove.cm. And now you see that Groove Cell is active. You know, it's in color now. So once you've got your custom domains, I'm going to go ahead and close this. You go here to tracking. So it's under Groove Cell and then the tools. Click on the tools. You see a couple of tools here. One of them is tracking links. One of them is page tracking. So I'm going to start with page tracking because it's super simple. This tracks very specific impressions, uniques, revenue from a page. So if you want, and this is for primarily for external pages, you can create a tracking code. Let's call it Donna test of internal pages and goal value. So if I were just tracking the number of visitors to a page, I'd have the goal value be 0. So let's do this. In fact, instead of calling it a test, I'm going to call it a Donna test visitors. Click add, and that's it. Once you go here, you get a piece of code that's copied to your clipboard. I'm going to just paste it up here in the URL bar. Can you see the URL bar? You can't. I'm going to paste it here in the chat so you can see what that tracking code looks like. So, no, it's not going to let me paste it in the chat. I am going to open up I'm having a great day, aren't I?
You could,
text edit file. I'm going to open up a new text edit file, drop it here, and then I will change what I'm sharing on my screen so that you can see it. This is live, folks. Isn't it fun?
It's live. Gotta love live.
So let's see, share screen. I'm just going to share the entire screen over here, screen 1. You're going to see a little mirror of Kevin for a second until I move it. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to see this screen now, right?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. And then here was the, okay, so here's the text file. So after I clicked on the copy link here to get the file, I came up with this. This is a tracking ID. You can put it on any page anywhere in the internet. It doesn't have to be on a Groove page. And what it will do is it will sit on that page, and anytime someone comes to that page, it will record a click. This isn't something we use because we use all of our Groove pages, so we don't need this. We also extensively use Google Analytics, so we don't need this. But if we wanted to, we could easily set up page tracking this way. And then you would go and you'd see this is the number of visitors that you have, the impressions, which is the number of times, the gross number of times that that page was viewed, and then the uniques, which is the net number of times where they're only counting specific people. That would give you page visitors. Now, what if you wanted conversions on that page? You could add another page tracking code, and the name is Donna Test Conversions, and conversions of the funnel. And that, let's say this goal value is $500, all right, $5,000, because that's the cost of your product, and click add. Now this code here, you would drop on your thank you page. So now you have a great way to see the impressions on your standard page, and then hopefully the uniques and the impressions on the thank you page are the same at this point. Then you would get the number of uniques that landed on your thank you page. I suppose people could refresh and come back to their thank you page. That would register as a conversion. So then you would know that you could do some simple math to see what your conversion rate is from a unique to a thank you page, and have that conversion information here in Groove, even if you're doing that on some other funnel, other software, direct HTML, however it is that you've built those pages. You could also ask, you won't always get a yes, but you might. You can ask people that you're doing promotions with if they would be willing to drop tracking codes onto their pages for you. So if someone came to us for a GDP and they wanted to drop a thank you, a code on our page, I might have them drop a thank you code, let them drop a thank you code on, say, the replay page, which is only for them, will always be for them. If it doesn't really matter if they see how many people visited. If they want that information, they can have it. They might get a tracking code on a replay page. So this is how you can also use it to help if you're doing promos like Kevin is using other affiliates. You can even give them, the option. Do you have a tracking code that you'd like to put on our thank you page so that you can track your buyers? That is a reasonable request to ask, and that's how you use page tracking. That's it. That's all page tracking does. If you click on this link, you can copy it to your clipboard. If you click on this one, you can edit just the basic minimal information that you gave it. And if you click on this one, it deletes it. And that's it. That's page tracking. So any questions about the page?
So Cecilia said, Kevin, it will be GrooveCell branding and tracking, even though we're using our domain names. Okay. So I think the link you created here, can you pull up that link again and show us?
This one is, so this is, it does look like this because this is page tracking.
Okay.
And this code sits on your web page. It's not a link that you would put in an email.
Got it. That is the link that is back behind doing the calculating. People don't see that.
That's correct. People
Okay,
don't
good.
see this. This sits in the header section on your website.
Okay, the
And
other
that's
one
it.
that you showed, first of all, and we're going to get to that one,
Yep.
that was click here dot whateveryourdomain.com,
That's
right?
exactly right. That's the difference between page tracking and link tracking.
Got it.
So I just wanted to cover page tracking first, simply because it's definitely a part and a way you can track pages, and definitely a way that you can track things outside of Groove.
So
So
this will give Donna, maybe I'll ask, there was a time when on the dashboard there were, stats there for pages and things, and you could click on your site, and this is going to do kind of what that was attempting to do, right?
Yes, this
Yeah.
will do that. This will give you just basic stats tracking a page, primarily for use in other pages that aren't Groove pages. So other
Okay.
funnels
So
that you
you
might
could,
have.
okay. So what you're saying, okay, that's helpful. So
Yeah,
this link, this is a piece of code essentially that you could paste on any website anywhere, obviously if you have permission and you have access, or somebody is going to do it for you.
that's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Gotcha. Everybody got that? If
Yeah.
that made sense, give us a hashtag got it in the chat. That's good. That's helpful.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now let's talk about the real juicy fun stuff, which is the tracking links. Tracking links are, in my view, so much more interesting. Okay, so now we have tracking links, and I'm going to show you how to set up a tracking link if you're
Hey,
just getting
Donna,
started. Yes.
let's go full screen or zoom in or something again. I think
Oh yeah.
when you did the whole screen, it's like a limited portion of your page.
Screen
Yeah.
that.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. Yep. All right, so let's set up a new tracking link. We click here to click on tracking links. And this is going to be Donna live test. Live test. Now you can select a domain, and I don't see the, oh yeah, it's here, right here, it's highlighted. Whew, I'm struggling today. Click here.groove.com. So it's going to go to groove.cm. So this is the new tracking link that we set up. Remember, click here. So click here at groove.cm is set for this tracking link, and I'm going to hit save and next. And now it's going to go to, this is the destination where you want it to go. So I am going to send it to google.com just for references, so you'll be able to see. You can choose a landing page, and you pick up your funnel, and it'll take the default landing page for that funnel. You can choose an affiliate link, and if you click your funnel, it will pick up. So these are all the affiliate programs that are Groovesters that we have promoted and are promoting. So you could pick up any of these, and it would go to the default affiliate link for that program. And then soon it will integrate with Groove Pages. That hasn't been done. So we use external links and just put our Groove Pages link in here for now until this fourth area is done. So you saw this set up for GrooveDigitalAcademy.com, which is the place that it will go. It's not what the link will look like. So in our case, it's going to go to Google. Save and next. And then you can track goals. And here's where it gets cool and fun and powerful. You can track all sorts of things. First, you can choose whether or not you're going to track your conversions as a vendor, so your products and services, or as an affiliate, someone else's products and services. We're just going to choose vendor. The options are the same or similar after. So we're going to call this conversion free account, because they sign up and get a new free account in Groove. So that's going to be, in this case, our most recent Groove funnel is right here, groove.cm. And then it opens up the product. So start up free account, and then even specifically the price point. So I'm going to say any price point at this point and add that. So that will track that conversion. Maybe I want more. Let's add another vendor conversion. A vendor conversion, and I'll call it lifetime. Maybe I'm interested in seeing how many people that come through this link get lifetime. And I'm going to put it on the groove.cm funnel. And I want to track the Premium Plus Lifetime at any price point. So I'm going to add that one. Maybe I want to see if anyone from this promotion hires the services of Groove Agency. All right, let's do another conversion. Vendor conversion, agency. Any funnel. We come down here to Groove Agency, any product, and click add. Now, if they buy anything from Groove Agency, if they get any of the services that Groove Agency offers, now we will see that as a conversion. So I've now set up this account for a number of conversions. You know what? If I wanted to do an affiliate conversion at the same time and see how many people bought my good friend Deb Cole's product, then it might be harder to. I don't remember the name of it. All right, this is probably a bad example. Reels something.
Use
Reels.
Groove for Growth Academy, you know?
Yeah, there we go. Do you see it on here?
I don't. It probably is listed under Your Best Groove. Oh, yeah, near the top there, Your Best Groove.
Oh, there it is. There we go. So I should have used you as an example. Sorry, Kevin. I also want to see if anyone who responds to this link goes and finds Kevin and gets Your Best Groove product. Then I can add that. So this is the same tracking link that we're creating that does all of these, tracks all of these conversions for you. Cool, right?
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but it gets better.
All right.
So let's go to save and next. Here are the advanced settings. So if you wanted to specifically have a tracking code dropped in here for other affiliates, if they want to put in their tracking, you can do that. If you want to use a particular code to track a conversion for a Facebook ad, you can have this fire off a Facebook ad event, any kind of tracking code that you want stuffed into this link. I mean, external tracking code that you want stuffed into this link, you can do it right here. So I could drop in Facebook pixel tracking code here if I wanted to. Pretty awesome. Gets even better. Cost per click. If you're using it for paid advertising and you know roughly your cost per click, you can get some metrics about whether or not the promotion is valuable for you based on adding in your cost per click here. And then this is the one where we're going to spend pretty much the rest of our time on tracking IDs. Tracking IDs are so incredibly super cool. So I want to keep talking about this promotion that we have for Groove to buy the lifetime, and then that promotion, they're specifically going to see Kevin's product. So I want to track that. I'm going to add a tracking parameter. So a tracking parameter, this is completely free for you. This is where you are setting up the way to track things that make sense to you. This is very much like the way you organize your folders and files on your computer or on your desk. It has to be, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It has to be logical. So it might change based on the campaign or how you're using it. So we're going to go all out for this campaign. We really want to get some sales to our buddy Kevin. So we're going to extensively use these tracking IDs. We're going to use them to track creative. Okay, so that's the first. The name is creative. I'm going to make the tracking parameter creative as well and add that. I'm going to add a new tracking parameter. I'm going to call it platform. So, if you don't know what creative is a name that is used to refer to all of the images and copy that goes into an advertising campaign. So a particular banner set, a particular style, that's called a creative. Platform is the next thing that we're going to track. And in this case, the platform is the advertising platform that we're going to use. So we're going to track platform here. And maybe we're going to add another one and track Creative platform audience. Okay. And then I always do these the same. If you want more description, you can put it in the name. The parameter, I'll show you in a second, just needs to be a small, short, single word, or a number. I could also say A here. In fact, I'll do that for tracking audience. I'll do that just so that you can see how it looks. This is your description. The name is for you. The tracking parameter becomes part of the link. So I think that's good for now. Let's go save and next. And now we have a tracking link. And here's a very long tracking link. But notice it says click here.groove. So this is the domain we set up, Groove.cm, tracking, and all the way up to this question mark. That is what a tracking link will look like if you don't use the advanced features. It will look like everything to the left of the question mark. It is a tracking link. Yes, has a long string of numbers, but it does match your branding and your domain. And notice why it's click here, because if you used this link directly, which means if you dropped what is known as a naked link, no HTML wrap around it so that you're highlighting specific words, you're just putting that ugly link into an email or something, on a advertising, on a post. That's what the link would look like with the long string at the end. This part here is where the power of tracking links comes in, but it's also the least used feature of our tracking link system. And I think it's mostly because people don't understand how to use it. So I'm going to copy this part right here over into that text file again. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put this new tracking here and show you how to use tracking links. So here we have, I'm going to make it even bigger.
Yeah, make it a lot
really
bigger.
big, really big. Both the font, big, let's say. There we go.
Nice. That's great.
Okay. So these X's here are where you can change that X. In fact, let me get that full link too. While I was at it, what did I do with that? Bear with me. Oh, I closed it.
I love watching other people do demonstrations live.
Oh, live is tough, isn't it?
It is what it is. This is great. Everybody watching, do you agree? I mean, this is fantastic. I had no idea. I know Groove pretty well.
Yeah.
I had no idea. This is going to change how I'm tracking things like crazy.
Wait until you see what you can do with this. It's awesome. All right, now I've got the whole URL. So back here, I think I probably just minimized this, but I'm going to put it on my other screen so I can find it again. Okay, so here's that full URL. And here is the part that we manipulate. Okay, so we're going to talk about creatives. Now, for this promotion, we're going to have this kind of the same banner set with the same company in 3 different colors. We're going to try it in pink and blue and yellow and see which one converts higher. We are going to take those ads and put them on the platforms: YouTube, Google, Facebook, TikTok. Those are the platforms we're going to use. And then what was the A? Audience. So our audience, notice it just says A here. More on that in a minute. Our audience, we're going to choose as an audience. I'll do something very simple. Under 45 years and greater than 45 years, or greater than equal to 45 years old, as a simple audience. This could be anything. This could be any demographic that your sales platform allows you to use or choose an audience that you could put in here. This is all about your tracking and what you're doing on your campaign. You don't need to have, I keep hitting this hard, but it's difficult for me to do a training or a tutorial where you are free to do whatever you need to do, which means there's no right answer. So it's hard to say, do this. But this is an example of how I might use this tracking software. I want to know which set of these things do better. So, maybe I'll do male and female here too, male and female. And I'm doing that just because of pink and blue and, the usual typical stereotypical, women like pink, men like blue. Please don't send me hate mail. I'm just trying to prove a point. So what you do for this tracking link is, if you're going to use this link in a promo that has all of the pink creatives on it, you would change this to pink. Creative equals pink. And then we're going to do this on, maybe this one is on the Google platform, Google, and then the audience is female. And then that is how you basically replace everything that was after this question mark. So you'd replace all of this with this new string that you created. And then you would use that link for your Google ads that were pink to a female audience. Let's say you just had Google ads that were pink and you didn't want to track the audience. Very, very simple. Just delete that. And now use this and put it in to here. You would just replace that. And then you would use this entire link for the call to action for that advertising campaign. Okay. So you have the opportunity to include any and all of these. And if you don't have it in there and leave it blank, that's fine too. Okay. So I'm going to go back to audience equals. And then think about the fact that people can sometimes see these links depending on where you post them and how you use them. And that is why I chose A here instead of audience. I might choose P for platform and C for creative, just something that makes it a little more, no, not more confusing, a little less obvious to someone who is reading the naked link that you're tracking creatives and which platform and who the audience is. So these words are yours and free to choose based on how you think your audience might react or whether or not you're making these links viewable in sort of a public way.
Supposedly, I guess also even the pink, blue, and yellow could be less distinct or less clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You could have set it up instead of creatives and platform. It could be CPA and then it could be C equals P.
Yep.
And then you just need to keep track of it on your own. In fact, arguably those are shorter and make an easier link.
But you have the name for it. You have the name for the parameter.
Yep.
Actually in the settings, but you wouldn't have necessarily as far as the options for the parameters.
That's correct.
Right. Got it.
You would need to keep some sort of legend somewhere that reminds you what you used. Take good notes of, in fact, sidebar, take good notes of all of the decisions that you make because we make them at a time and we have lots of reasons behind a decision. I find it really helpful when I set something up to have funnel notes somewhere that remind me why I set something up in a particular way. So I keep and maintain funnel notes just for those sorts of things. It's always a good decision when you make it, but don't always remember why you made it.
Can't justify it later.
Right. So what we can do here is we've taken basically one tracking link and turned it into, I don't know, we've got 4 options, 3, 4 here. We've probably will make about 48 different links from one tracking link.
Wow.
So every combination that you use, if the creative is blue, you might have creative equals blue, platform equals YouTube, audience equals below 45. Creative equals blue, platform equals YouTube, audience equals above 45. Creative equals blue, platinum equals YouTube, audience equals male.
Wow.
Creative equals blue. Like, you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
And then right on, creative equals blue, platform equals Google, and then audience changes for all four.
Wow.
Right. Super, super powerful. This is how you use tracking links. You can have as many of these parameters in a link as you'd like, or as few, or none.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It all varies on how it's going to look right here when you're looking at the tracking link goals. Now, let me see if I can find one where we've used these, because we don't use them as often as you might think. Maybe this one. Let's look at the stats. Yeah, it's just a plain old affiliate link stat. How do I get back here? I'm going to go to maybe here. All right, so this is what it looks like when you are tracking several goals. So you can see the different, this is tracking for, I think I clicked on our webinar, one of our webinar tracking. And now we can see, based on all the people that go into this webinar, what they're buying at various points. So this is what it looks like for conversion goal tracking. I'm trying to find, and I don't know that it exists, that we have one where we've completely used these tracking parameters, because we don't use them for GPs. I'd have to find one. Oh, here's one that we used for ads. Let's see if that was set up using this. Here we go. So, oh no, that looks like a vendor and affiliate conversion on that one. Oh, I probably should have done this earlier to find a good example, or created an example for you. But what it will look like, if I am able to find one.
We don't mind waiting.
Yeah, thank you. I wish it was easier to find, because I don't remember when we were using these actively. Maybe these solo ads. I'm going to try an Archimax test. Oh. All right, we're just going to pretend we see it.
Yes, it looks great.
You know what? Let's just make the link. Let's just make the link, and then you'll see it. So let's do that. Back here, we've got this link. We're going to call it creative equals pink, platform equals Google, and AAA equals audience equals Kevin, because we're on Kevin's audience. So we've created a link. I'm going to just copy that link and go here and click it. So remember, it redirects to Google. So we should see google.com, which we do. Okay. And now if we look at this test, should happen pretty immediately. We take a look at it and we can see that there have been no sales and signups, but I don't know where the parameters are. Well, now I'm stumped, guys. I am seriously stumped, because we can now see that it's tracking all of the things that we wanted it to track. But
those were the goals. Those were one of the things, and then another step was the parameters. So a separate kind of setting, right?
So let's try it again. I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to go to Groove.cm, and I'm going to sign up for a free account. and see if we see
Mhm.
tracking parameters after there's a free account sign up. So I'm going to get started. Okay, we clearly just got a free account. So let's come back here and take a look at the stats for this. I'm just going to refresh it to get the stats for this tracking link. We now have 2 impressions, one of which was a unique, and it should show a free account. And it does not.
We're
I don't know what
laughing
to
with
say,
you. We're
Kevin.
laughing with you. We're laughing with you. It's probably a time like let's come back and check that in a bit. Maybe it's just a time lag. So if you could kind of talk me through this. So we initially made a link.
Correct.
Where does that go?
That link goes in any advertising that you want to use. So just like I used it here, direct, that would be as if I had clicked on an email.
Okay, so this is kind of the ugly link that could be
attached to an advertising campaign, used in an email, wrapped in a email domain. So or wrapped into words. So if you wanted to say, click here, and then hyperlink that.
Right.
You would hyperlink it with this link here.
Right. Or a button on a page.
Or a button on a page.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you would use that link. I really don't know why these parameters aren't showing. In fact, maybe I will send a little message to David Lemon that says,
let's get him on the call. Let's
I'm live now. Tracking parameters don't appear to be working. Any secrets? Let's see. Yeah, so that's ultimately, and I don't know why they're not showing up, but it would show up here that under the free account, there should be a list that said pink 1, Google 1, audience Kevin, the Kevin one.
Right.
You should have that information under here, and I'm not sure why it isn't or why it isn't displaying.
Okay. Can I give you some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. How about if, okay, let me just put this up. I know it covers us, but I'm not sure how to fix that. How about if I have a QR code as the call to action coming from my different website designed to drive traffic? Could this link go into the QR code? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you would create the QR code with whatever. Bitly can do that, or a bunch of Click Design can do that. Yeah, so your QR code would be this link that people would then be scanning and taking them here.
Yep.
I think that's the answer you were
That
looking
is
for,
the correct
Robert.
answer. Yes, you can use this link anywhere you use a link.
Okay, so then, okay, can we then, okay, let's just put this up on the thing. Can we then tie that Groove tracking ID into Google Analytics using UTMs, UTM source, UTM medium, and UTM campaigns?
I think analytics should be able to read it. Yes. I don't see any reason why analytics wouldn't read the tracking that's being used. So yes, you should be able to. I have not done it, but I don't see a reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the UTMs offered by Google was the inspiration for creating these tracking links, is that this is how Google does it.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
So let me go back because Robert said, so Nancy said maybe you use the tracking link to page tracking. Nancy, say more. Maybe you're replying to Robert. I'm not sure. Click here for the tracking link. I'm not sure.
Okay, see, it did.
There
It
we
did
got a
take a
free
little
account.
while. We got that
Yeah.
one sign up.
Yep.
Phew, at least that part's working.
So here's the question. So we looked at two kinds of links, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have page. What would you call them? Page links and tracking
Page
links.
tracking
Page
and
tracking
then link tracking.
and link tracking. Okay.
So one, you're putting it on a page. You're not ever looking at the link.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, the link itself is important, even though they both technically track pages. They track traffic on pages. But one of them, you're focused on the page itself, tracking all traffic to that particular page.
Right.
That's why page tracking doesn't include things like the parameters,
Right.
because it's all traffic to that page. These tracking links include particular promotions. And you can break that down to, if you're doing a launch, you can have all of your launch stats in here, and every email have a different tracking. Every within the emails, let's say you have an email, it goes out and you have a link at the top, at the middle, at the bottom. You could use a different tracking link for each one of those. These are just ways for you to see which one of your links or promotions are performing optimally.
Just incredible. And it's an incredible amount of options. This is the way Groove is, in my opinion. Groove is. So I developed software way back in the mid '80s, and we always said that the more powerful the software, the more complex the options are, right? So because Groove is so powerful, I think sometimes these options are they feel so complex. Y'all can echo this in the chat if you think this is right. They feel so complex that then it just becomes sort of that's something I don't want to mess with. But if we can narrow it down to the simplest usage, number one is the page link tracking. Is that what you called it? Page link tracking?
Page tracking. Yeah.
Page tracking. And that is just to know how many visits we're getting and who's going from this page, or, it's kind of just Google Analytics type, here's some information about how many hits you got on your page, right? The next layer, though, is this, what do we call the second layer?
So this is link tracking, but it really is campaign tracking.
Ah, okay.
That's a better name for it, campaign tracking, rather than just a link.
Because with campaign tracking, we're starting to get into, not only did they visit the page, but where did they come from?
This does not tell you things like
well, it would only
yes,
tell,
if you've added it as a parameter. Yes.
Right. If you add it as a parameter and you're using that link just in this ad, right? Then you would know this came from this ad. And again, if you're doing ads on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere, you can really target. So
that's right.
That's the parameter side of it. If you're going to do an ad and target this group, that's what you were saying. You can then use this special link and you're going to send them to a different page.
So no.
Okay.
It's all going to go to the same page because you indicated the landing page in there.
Oh, I got you. So it's just when they get to the page, you sent it with the parameters.
You sent it with the parameters so you know where they came from. Did they like ad A or ad B better?
Okay. All of these go on one page. You send the parameters, and then based on that, it's tracking it's adding up the numbers, although we couldn't see the parameters, but David's going to fix that for us.
He is going to fix that for us.
Okay, that's really helpful. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, and it allows you to do things like, we all do things in our business that we think are going to be effective. But how often do we test that they are?
That's a great question. That's really critical. Yeah.
So if you set up minute page tracking, let's say you always put your link in a PS on your email, and that's your habit. Do you know if it works? I don't know, seems like a good idea. By the way, it's generally a very good idea to put your link in your PS of your email. Lots of people don't read, they scroll down, they look at the PS and click that link. But don't take my word for it. In your next email series that you do, let's say you're going to test that and you put a link in the body and a link in the PS, and
Wow.
you create a tracking link
Yeah.
and use different ones and have a parameter body versus PS. And now you know.
You got
And
a
maybe
button,
that
you got a
PS,
URL, you got a, yeah.
hey, maybe the PS never gets clicked.
Wow.
Then stop doing
it. Exactly. That's really good.
Yeah.
All right. So that's, I think I'm getting it. So, because tracking has never been, you know, I try to set up Google Analytics and I'm like, okay, several people came to my page. So would you be willing to take, so one of my Academy members, Dr. Cecilia, who asked for this specifically, she's getting ready to launch a webinar or something like that. Could I bring her on and have like, she has her main homepage set up. Could you talk through a little bit like what would go where? Do you have time to do that? Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I blocked out an hour for you today. Well, an hour and a half, so we have time.
Okay, we got a little bit. Okay, Cecilia, you heard it here. So pop on the call, and while you're doing that, Joseph said, I followed the instructions, but the subdomain created on my domain does not work. I got the site can't be reached. Do you, if you have your domain set up through Cloudflare, through your own Cloudflare account, you have to go create the CNAME. You have to add the CNAME record over there. That might be what you missed, Joseph. If you,
that's the first setup.
Yeah. So if it's in Groove, it should have automatically done it. All right. So let's do this then. I'm going to go ahead. All right. Yeah, Joseph said right. Good. All right. Doc's in the house.
Hey.
So she just, Cecilia was asking, okay, so from beginning to end, sort of, can you talk through what piece goes where and when you create it, right?
Correct. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it just split out there for just a second, but we can hear you.
Okay. Donna, thank you. Thank you. Did I say thank you?
You're very, very welcome. My pleasure.
Yes. So I asked because I'm getting ready to have an in-person conference, and in the evening I'm doing an open to the community. So my website is set up because thanks to Kevin, I'm no longer scared to use my Groove. So my website is set up, and I was saying to Kevin in our question and answers that I notice when I'm setting up a product and putting the price, I keep seeing tracking. And so I kept asking, okay, Groove has tracking. Can you teach me how to use the tracking? Like, how can we use the tracking? Because you're right. You say it and Mike say it. If it's not working, stop. Well, how do I know it's not working? I just wasn't that bright to know that. So right now, what I have set up, for example, I have the website, and the way I'm doing the registration, I want to do the registration for the participants. I have 3 different modules of different kinds of people coming, and I want to be able to create, because I followed Mike on all of the chat GTP case studies, so it's my site looks good. And so now I want to start sending out the emails and the social posts, because I followed him to figure out how to do that. But now I want to know which of those, how do I set it up so that when they come to the website and the starter people click, and if they saw a particular email with a particular ChatGTP prompt, that's working versus it not working. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. Maybe. So
okay.
So let's explore a little bit more. You have someone that you want to be able to track whether or not they saw a particular email, right?
Yes.
Okay, you would definitely do that here in the link tracking. You would set up a link exactly like that for the email. So in a launch, you might create a tracking link that's for email 1 or day 1 emails. And that's your tracking link for that day's emails, day 2 email. Or it might be as specific or as granular as you'd like. but that's how you would set up a tracking link that goes to wherever it is that you want it to go that you use. So if it's based on an email response or even clicking a particular link within an email. So you might use this for something like testing a title where you have 4 different tracking links in an email because you want to see which one people click on. Because it's sort of all about getting the feedback and the testing. So when you're talking about your launch, you want to know if people saw a particular email when they buy. This is what you would do. You would set up these tracking links. So it's under GrooveCell, Tools, Link Tracking. I'll show it to you again so that you don't have to. I saw you looking up, so let's.
I'm thinking. I'm processing what you're saying. So I take the information I got from my case study, so I know what the suggested subject should be on the email and the content. So I got all of that from chat. And so then I get the link that you just showed us how to create. And so I want to figure out if the subject is good. I want to figure out if the content that chat put together is good. I want to figure out if the image that Midjourney created, version 1, 2, 3, or 4, are working. Yes. So I put it, how do I test the subject? And how do I test? I got the parameters, but how do you test the subject? Because the subject is what's going to get them to open. Right. So how do you put that link, that tracking? How do you do that outside of the content of the email?
All right. So you're going to send multiple emails to see which subject line works the best, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to skip the idea that you can just do that through GrooveMail right now, which you really can do that through GrooveMail. You can just look at the broadcasts and look at
I got that.
Yeah. So let's pretend you can't do it that way. And you have to do it based on clicking the tracking link inside the email.
Gotcha.
You would create a tracking link, and then that tracking link may or may not have parameters in it, and you would just use that link inside the email. So let's just do one for you. Okay. Make it really, really clear. So I'm going to share this screen again and add it to, there we go. Here. So we're going to create a tracking link for an email. This is tracking for email 1, number 1, subject line, hey you. Terrible subject line, but okay. And then add a domain. So we're just going to put it on the domain, save and next. And this is going to go to your landing page, wherever you want the email to go to. Save and next. Any goals that you have. So probably vendor conversions, probably a sale. And from your funnel, I'm just going to call it any funnel. So this link will track any sale from any funnel. So save and next. You can ignore these if you want to. You don't need any of these. And then save and next. And now you have a very simple tracking link. This is the link that you would put into your email, in the body of the email.
Got you.
And now any message that comes from that email will contain, or any visitor that comes from that email will click that link, and that link will track that email's performance.
Okay.
You kind of have to then don't you? So let's say you sent 1,000 emails,
yes.
And with that link in it, you kind of have to put the two statistics together.
You kind of do at this point, because this is just going to show you clicks within that email, not open rates of the email.
Yeah, but exactly. So you have the open rates, and then you have the clicks. But if you sent 3 different emails with 3 different subjects, you can see how many sales you got from the different subject. I mean, you can simply compare those numbers there on the page.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're not using GrooveMail for whatever reason, you're using external mail services, this will allow you to put that, let's say privately.
Yeah.
So you've got a bunch of friends on a chat group. You could use this email or this link for that to track that particular promotion.
So maybe another example, Cecilia, would be you use one link in a Facebook post, you use another link in your emails, you know that you sort of are placing it the different ways you're reaching customers.
Yeah.
Or on, and then another one just directly on the site. It's a different link. So some of the links are directing people to the page, and some of them are actually links on your buttons. Is that making sense?
Yeah. So I take the image I created, I put it inside of the email. That's one link. I take that same that same image, I post it on Facebook, but I had to put the link in the comments, or else Facebook will never let anybody see it. So, so then I put the link, like first comment, and so now it's tracking. And then I put that over on LinkedIn, and so now I can see how that one image translated in the email versus how it worked on LinkedIn versus how it worked on Facebook, et cetera, right?
Instagram, TikTok. I mean, you're out there everywhere, right?
No, I'm not on TikTok. But
yeah. As long as you're using the parameters or separate links.
Or separate links, right?
Yeah. And right now, until I figure out what's wrong with the parameters, you might just want to create straight up separate links, which does the same thing. So instead of, you could create we did the parameters, audience, creative, and platform. You could just do a link that's for, here's my pink creative on Google to women over 45, and have that just be, that's the tracking link for that one link that you create.
Okay. So can I ask like top of the order question then?
All the questions you want.
Thank you, Donna. So when you go to the domain, and one of the first things you did, I'm taking notes, you said to do something like click here or checkout. But then I was wondering, if we're picking our own domain, does it still go to the Groove domain, or would it be click here dot the financiers forum dot? It's my dot.
Yep. Because the first thing we did was we went to manage the domain. So you should not have Groove.cm domain as an option for you in your account if you do something went very, very wrong.
No, no. I was just trying to listen and follow. So in mine, so I would just go to like the Groove cell, and then right now it says Groove cell branding plus. And so if I click branding plus and I put in a subdomain, it's going to be subdomain, which would be click here dot whatever
your domain is. Yep.
Yeah, and you have two places there, though. Remember, when Donna set that up, you have two things in the Groove cell. You have two options. One is the branding,
and another is the tracking.
Yep.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it inside mine. I saw the branding and I saw the tracking, but I don't know what the branding does, but we're doing the tracking.
The branding will brand your checkout link.
Oh, so at the bottom of that was my next question. So at the bottom of the checkout form,
actually,
then it will say.
No, actually the link. So if you send, like in your design of your funnel, if they click the button to purchase and you send them directly to the checkout link, branding, that will make it purchase dot, like mine is purchase dot yourbestgroove.com.
Oh, so it would no longer be purchase.groovecell.
Exactly.
Right.
Got you. Yeah. Got you. We about to blow this thing up. Okay. I'm going to bow out because I'm thankful. Thank you for letting me come on and ask my questions, and thanks for being here. And Kevin, I think you're the greatest. So
that's why I had you on. I wanted to make sure I got you on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This is one of those areas that can be very, very confusing.
Yeah.
And part of it is because it's actually fairly simple to use.
Yeah. It's simple to use and you can then start just expanding on it
Yes.
like crazy, as long as you can see the parameters.
Right.
Let me go to Robert. Robert said, because we're going to wrap up here in just a minute, can I have the same link in both the QR code and a button on the same page? Yeah, you can put the link on as many places as you want. It's just that if you're trying to decide if they use the QR code or the button or the link, then you won't be able to tell that if you just use the exact same link. So it's how much you want to know is how many parameters or how many links you have to create. Am I correct, Donna?
You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. That is the right answer. Yeah, you can use that link in as many places as you want. The more places you use one link, the less information you get.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because you
Exactly.
don't know which page it came from or which email or
Yeah,
which
got it.
location.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need to. Like that's
Right.
the kind of the bottom line of this. Notice how much I was using this parameter tracking.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I'm not really using it. It's there, it's strong. We have used it in the past for particular promotions, but our last couple of promotions have had a single creative. So I haven't really been testing creatives other than what our advertisers are doing on our advertising platform. So that hasn't been a focus of mine, but we use it every single week for our GDPs. And I think that's the strongest, most underutilized use of those tracking links, which is after a promotion is over, stopping your links from becoming dead links.
Yeah, exactly. And so I found this because, I was on GDP back in January, and I put that link to go to the web class in a bunch of places. And then it was over, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's a dead link out there. So I went to the link, and I was like, oh no, it goes directly to, my version of the replays. And so, yeah, it's very much like a Bitly kind of an option. You take it, what is, whatever link you want, and you call it whatever you want, and then you can you can redirect it at any point in time.
Yep.
That's
Have a
great.
typo on your page or, on the page link and the URL, and you've sent an email out that had a typo in it. If you used a tracking link, you could just change that.
Wow,
Page to
there
where it
you
goes to.
go. Unless you had a typo on the tracking link, and then
Well,
you're
right.
screwed.
Ideally, they're so ugly, you're just copying and pasting those.
Exactly.
You'd be amazed at how many people misspell their domain names.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, we have
I know.
typos all the time on simple things. First name, last name, email address, domain names. People mistype those all the time. This allows you to help that.
2 questions. Joseph says, where are the individual parameter counts tracked?
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
great
Joseph,
question,
you said I
Joseph.
just
I'd
did
love
it.
the answer.
What did you do? Did you find them? Because we couldn't find them. Donna couldn't find where they were tracked as far as seeing the statistics. If you found that, let us know. Also, this is a good question. Page tracking code placement, header, body, or footer?
Header.
Header. There you go.
Yeah,
So we're going to put those in the header. Joseph mistyped the domain.
See?
Oh, I just did it. Got it. Yeah, that's going to hurt you when you mistype the domain.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You're running online businesses. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will happen to you. You're going to have a customer tell you it's your fault that they didn't get their receipt because they typed their email address wrong.
Yes.
It happens at least once a week here in Groove.
Absolutely. Yeah. I bought something and I haven't heard anything. And so then you go and you say, well, is this your email address? Oh, no. It happens.
So David said he hasn't gotten any reports that the tracking parameters aren't working, so we may need to revisit it. So clearly they aren't. I don't know whether it got dropped out of the display and they're just not showing.
Right.
They're being tracked but not showing. Yeah, we'll find out.
Which isn't helpful.
Not helpful at all.
You find out.
For now, if you'd go the slightly harder way and create new links for every one of those things, you'll still get that information.
You can track the same thing.
Yeah.
This has been amazing, Donna. I truly had no idea. I 3 years, right? I've been using Groove for 3 years, and I see those. I'm like Cecilia. I see that it's tracking link, tracking link, tracking link, and I'm thinking I'm not going to touch it because I don't even know how to set it up or what it's going to do. So you have just this has been an hour and 19 minutes of pure gold content. So thank you. This is everybody is saying great information. Many thanks. Super. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to take this actually, and we're going to break it into some pieces using video.ai, by the way, which I just started using. It's crazy.
Is it?
It's crazy. It's better. I used something earlier. This one breaks very intelligently, and it'll break it into it's called chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's called let's see, chapters, and then it's just clips, I think, or something. So you can get really shorts. So it's 60-second. It'll cut it into 60-second pieces or a full chapter, which covers the content.
Nice.
Just kind of crazy. So anyhow, I was saying that we'll have pieces, and we're going to put this. If you go to grooveanswersfast.com, you're going to be able to search and find all of this information. It'll be available. By the way, a side note, Donna, my assistant, my team went through all of the little shorts that Groove is creating on YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah.
The little things. And we added those as resources in Groove Answers Fast. And so now you can go to Groove Answers Fast by keyword and see Groove's little training videos, which are very good. So
great. All the work we do makes your product even better. That's a good
deal
you got going on.
Yeah, and those are free. Like, you don't have to have an account to watch those. So if somebody wants to go check it out, you'll be able to find those things. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Do you have an affiliate link for that software? Oh, I wish I did, Pat and Lorna. At this point, I'm just excited about it and telling everybody to use it. But
I may have just minutes.
I may have just gotten a link. I got approval yesterday to be an affiliate. So if I do, I'll post it out there somewhere, or you can just message me, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. I will follow up about the parameters, and if there are any questions, is there always any questions? This is just like a phone call with your doctor, and you hang up and think of 4 things that you should say. I'm happy to take follow-up questions. So Kevin, if any of your audience has any follow-up questions from this, it helps me know where I was unclear. So I would love that feedback. Absolutely. Send me follow-up questions. I'll give you answers that you can communicate with your group.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your comments and questions. And yeah, we'll see. My next, so I had David, and I've had Donna, and so my next guest is going to be none other than Mike Filsaime, but I've got to get that scheduled. I got to get it on the schedule. And we got to decide what would be the best topic, Donna, to have Mike come on in just, hour and a half. And I'll keep him on track. I'll ask him specific questions.
Gosh. I feel like the best topic for Mike is how to be a salesperson.
That's good.
Yeah. No one asks him that question. It's one of his superpowers. Wow. He manages to keep up his sales pace, especially on webinars. He keeps his energy up. The sales pace is up. He is never afraid to ask for an order.
That is
the biggest thing that stops people is hesitancy to ask for the order, to sell. He'll probably want to talk about something Groove related, though. Frankly, he's going to want to talk about Groove.ai. He's going to want to talk about Groove.cm, webinars, funnels. I wish someone would ask him about sales training.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to him because I know that he started as a car salesman, right? Yeah. Or he did his first big thing or whatever.
His first big thing. He started, I believe, not his first job, but what he considers to be the first step on his career path was being working at Pathmark, which is a grocery store. Nice. Working at a grocery store, and he moved himself up. The day that they offered to make him a manager, he quit and went into the car business to be a salesperson.
That's a great story.
Yes. So that is, and it absolutely changed the trajectory of his life. I think learning sales is it's right up there with copywriting, which is really just written sales. as
Mhm.
a skill that is so important for us as business people to develop, because if we stop selling, our businesses stop. And he has the ability to just be very direct and frank with his sales. Part of it comes from just a belief in your product. Like,
Yeah.
that's the number one. If you believe that your product can help people, it's very easy to ask for the order then. That's the number one tip. But he is just so good at letting those sales messages roll off his tongue, being aggressive without seeming like, an aggressive salesperson that you want to get away from. And I think he probably learned a lot from the car business that no one ever asks him about. So
Okay,
you're gonna
great.
get gold there.
That's the question. That's what I'm gonna have him on.
All
And
right.
I don't know if I'll have him on this whole thing or if we'll have him in the academy, but because he did say he'll come on the academy at some point. So
And be sure to
um
book, 2 or 3
yeah,
hours
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I'll get it booked out. Thank you again, everybody. Thanks, Donna. This has been amazing. And until next time, everybody keep grooving. I don't have the groove outro to use, so just in your mind, think about the grooving song, and we'll wrap it up. Thanks, everybody. Bye.